Jonathan Levitt sent me an email and asked if I would be willing to do a keynote speech. And my little cryptic answer was, sure. And that's how I got here. So Jonathan probably got a hold of me because I have been practicing over 40 years. And I did write this fabulous book, which has, I think, everything I know over the last 40 years of practice might be in here. Although students say, oh no, you didn't say this, but I don't want to write another edition. This is the 4th edition. I wish I had had a primer. I wish I had had, how to set up my office and what to say on the telephone and how to handle social media, which didn't even exist when I started. And, what are vitamins and minerals about, or amino acids, or what is the endocrine system? So, the book is basically everything I wanted to know when I started. So how to do an intake and how to ask questions and what are the 5 other questions after they answer that question that are not on the intake form. And then little stories. I tell stories of clients with permission. And the calligraphy is all done by Kay Parent, who's a master calligrapher. She and I started our careers at the same time. And I became an etcher and supported my herbal studies with art. I was in great galleries, and it supported my 2 kids and my jazz musician husband with artwork. Imagine that. And my herbal studies. The real beginning was I was told I was sick. And, words are powerful. I told I had a year and a half to live. I was 24, and I'll be turning 74 next year. So they were wrong. But really, that is how I got started. Was I knew I had to change my life, and I did many things. I did yoga and chiropractic and massage and energy work and supplements and herbs, but herbs just took over my life and every room of my house. Well, they were loud.
Yeah.
You are mine now. Oh, my belief is that we have we're just creeping out of the dark time. Like, this has been a very dark period for about 20 years in my observation. And we just left these eclipses. So, Mother Nature is really powerful right now and very loud also. And I truly believe that humans are evolving in a better way now. We were on a bad path. We chose the wrong path for a long time. And now it's time to choose a more conscious path. And mushrooms do allow you to have more consciousness and connection. It is blatantly obvious. And it's so good for your amygdala, where we have fear and love. Everyone has stuff. Everybody has fears. Everybody has some little thing that happened at some time. It doesn't matter. And no matter how perfect you think somebody's life is, everybody has something. And mushrooms and plants are ancestors, and mushrooms are right there with them. And they all are holding us and helping us evolve. And I think mushrooms are definitely helping with the evolution of ridding ourselves of fear and constraints. Mm-hmm. We need to move forward as a human species so that we're better walkers on the planet, better talkers on the planet, and are responsible for the evolution of humans in a good way. It's easy to focus on the negative, but I think the ripple we need to focus on is the positive. Oh, let's talk about terminology.
Yes.
I mean, if you look at my first edition, I refer to things as drugs. And this is, I am an example of changing consciousness. So, mushrooms and entheogens are not drugs. They're herbs to be used in ceremony and ritual and evolution. And I think just changing that terminology is a really good step. Well, I think I would have to be a morel because they're so delicious. I'm only lecturing. I'm not seeing clients anymore. So I do lecture. They could go to my website, www.earthsong, S-O-N-G, herbals, with an S.com. So that's one place. And I am on Facebook. I have 2 pages, so Earthsong Herbals. Or you can just type in Margi Flint on Google and thousands of things come up. And Instagram, I think, is Flint Margi. This is totally available in Margi's retirement plan. So this is almost 600 pages. And it is everything you need to know to start a practice. As far as I know, it's everything I did to start a practice and have it run pretty smoothly. And I do believe herbalists and healers need to make a living. And it's a beautiful book. It feels good. It's good to touch. And it has a satin bookmark. And it has, lots of pictures and calligraphy and everything you need to know about running a practice. But it's more lots of diagnostic skills because I studied with William Lassassier. And so his visual indications of the face, tongue, and nails are the focus. Really, that was the intention of this book, was to just get his information out. And I am working on a new series of books of his writings, his words, which I will then present in books. And this is a big project. So anyone who studied with William, I need you for help. We'll take a village to write these books. But he has one on adolescence and one on pregnancy, and nobody has seen this information before, and I want the world to see it.
That's
so
such
he was the premier herbalist of the 20th century, in my opinion. With help, I'm hoping I can get it done in 3 years. He'd be so happy. He was a perfectionist. It's like people will say, "How did you get that book out?" And I said, I wasn't attached to being right about everything, and I'm not a perfectionist. If I waited for perfection, I would be dead and the book would not be printed. So, it's the best I could do.
Yes.
And it's a good book. Yeah. And his will be the best we can do to get his work out. Yeah, practice with people. Okay. So many people now are focusing on gathering certificates and doing online courses of this. I mean, there's fine, online courses are fine. But without practicing in between, you don't apply your information. So you need to take the knowledge you've studied and apply it to practice. We're called practicing herbalists because we see one client at a time. And that's how you learn. If you've never seen a client before who had a certain condition, you can say, I've never treated anyone with that before with herbs, but I'd be happy to do the research and work with you and do the best I possibly can. And then, young herbalists can call on their teachers, like I called on mine, to help them through the process. So don't be afraid to ask for help. And don't just collect certificates. I still don't know everything. Yeah. And my bucket's very full up here. Every once in a while, I think if I just tip my head, it would just splash out, and then I'd have room for more. But, we're all learning.